Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Web3 Node Operators, a YouTube series that highlights teams running validators and other critical Web3 infrastructure. Today, I am accompanied by Ivan from Stakewolle. Hey Ivan, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah.
Ivan, can you give our viewers a quick introduction about yourself and Stakewolle?
Okay. I'm CEO of Stakewolle. Stakewolle is a validator of Cosmos ecosystem, and soon enough we will be not in only Cosmos. So, so follow us on our social media. We are validator in uh, 43 networks in Cosmos ecosystem. We do some media education and create Telegram bots.
What other ecosystems are you looking in or looking for running validators? Now that you teased it already.
Uh, okay. We will start Solana.
Hmm.
Yeah, like, in few days.
Oh, a few days already. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
we
cool.
haven't announced yet.
Okay. So before we go into the nitty-gritty stuff, how did you guys end up running validators for the Cosmos ecosystem? I mean, so many validators. What's your background story?
Well, we started 2 years ago with Secret Node, and what we saw in this market that there's still lack of education. There should be more, and more. Like because the whole concept of Cosmos ecosystem is really great, and there should be more people. They just don't know how to use it. Like what are the projects and so on.
Mhm.
And that's why we decided to uh, become validator in more networks and start educating our users.
Okay, so I'll definitely have to include your the links to your educational material in the
So
description of this video.
I will send you. Okay.
Thank you. All right, let's kick things off with the interesting stuff. Can you give our viewers a brief overview of what running Web3 infrastructure actually means? And what part does it play in the whole ecosystem? You know, where do users interact with you? What are you doing?
Okay. So actually, almost everything works with us. So if there are no validators, there's no proof of stake blockchains. Yeah. So what we should do, we should actually have a lot of alerting systems, which will tell us that something is going on with our nodes, with our servers, with everything that we have. Because everything should work like steadily without any errors and problems. Yeah, and basically, uh, it is the main part of our work is keeping the nodes working, uh, and all the other stuff is like a free. It's free for validators. Like you can choose whatever you would like to do. Like what other value you would like to share with your users. We decided uh, to educate to educate community and to help it in any other way. Yeah.
Mhm. Can you explain a little bit in more detail of how validating blockchains actually work? So what does it entail? Um, what can non-technical users imagine when we talk about validating chains?
Well, should I start with what is proof of stake?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
just a couple of sentences.
Well, it usually doesn't take a couple of sentences. So, so blockchain at all is a decentralized database, I would say. So
Mhm.
there's amount of data, and there are several points with which you verify this data. So you should actually have like more than a 50% of this or more of these points or nodes to validate this data. So we have validator, we validate this information, validate transactions of codes, tokens in the chain, and basically tell that everything's all right. Yeah, and we are keeping the blockchain decentralized, so there are no one. entity who can decide to do whatever it wants. Like everything should go through validator and users of this blockchain. Well, if I keep it this short, it will be too too messy.
No, I think so far the explanation has been quite good. So blockchain is indeed a decentral or a data structure that happens to, be a chain of blocks. It's in the name. It's quite simple.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
in
yeah.
every block there are transactions, like you said. And this data structure just happens to be very suitable for decentralized consensus algorithms, like what happened, so everybody agrees on it. So far everything good.
Yep.
And what role do you as a validator now play in this? So there's this database with blocks and transactions in it, and the nodes agree on something there, like the transactions, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we, our nodes agree on some transactions if they are okay. Like if there's no I don't know, spam or any scam transaction or any hack transaction. I don't know. Something like that. If everything's alright, we will date it. But what we do as a not as a like node, as a machine, as a
Yeah.
code, what we do as a people, as an entity, we actually vote in a governance proposals. So
Hmm.
when you delegate to us some amount of your tokens, coins, we have this amount of tokens to vote in governance proposals and actually decide what is the future of the network, maybe the future of the networks or the ecosystem. Actually, yeah. Recently there was proposal for Cosmos point two. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a lot.
that was very controversial. What do you think about the proposal?
Mm, we actually found interchain security quite an interesting solution, and we voted yes because of it. But also, community doesn't seem to like it because
Mm.
there are some other details that were all combined in one proposal, and there was too much. Yeah,
Mm.
and some of them were questionable. Yeah.
Mm. Since we're already talking about governance here, um, what do you think about the current state of governance in the ecosystem, like from a technical perspective and also from an engagement perspective from the users? What do you think about Cosmos governance?
So
Sure.
what I like the most in the voting in the Cosmos ecosystem is that if users is not agreeing with any vote of their validator, it can vote by themselves. Like it
Mm.
is the best function, I would say
Yeah.
so. So the validator doesn't keep uh, all the power of those tokens that were given to them. No, you
Yeah.
can vote both by yourself. But sometimes, as we see, some validators are just follow the math. They don't really study the proposal. They don't really read it. Just
Yeah.
vote by the end of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there are also some voters, airdrop hunting. So they just vote yes, 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 yes on everything, hoping to get an airdrop. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you get for incentivized voting, incentivized airdrops for voting. So I think that's the airdrops. Let's call it fault. But you're right. The fact that users can override their validator's vote is a very interesting concept. I mean, it's certainly better than, let's call it off-chain voting. I mean, politics, where you vote a representative for X amount of years, and then he promises you A, and as soon as he's in office, he does whatever he likes. So I think we
Yeah.
definitely got a huge advantage here. Um,
And
and I
if
yeah
yeah, if you continue uh this metaphor, you can redelegate in any time.
yeah
So just imagine like keeping those votes from this person who like isn't trustable. It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, totally. And I think, looking, I don't know, 2 or 3 decades in the future, I can really see how actual governance system in the real world operate on a similar dynamic where you can, delegate your voting power to somebody and just manage it way more efficiently than it's currently done in a tamper-proof way that, without fraud. But yeah, that's, a different story. So a lot of people have been complaining that there is a lot of spam in the governance, as the chain grows in complexity. Like for example, on Osmosis, there's, I don't know, almost daily votings. Um, how do you think can we scale on-chain governance to a that it actually can handle a lot of different decisions where not everybody needs to be involved, not you don't need 10,000 chefs in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
How do you think can we achieve this?
Mm, well, I think we can delegate some amount of power to some teams, maybe team of delegators, team of validators, team of maybe uh, the initial team who developed the blockchain. Yeah, um, I'm saying about like for this like in regular incentivized invest adjustment. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's called like this. In Osmosis, yeah, it's every week or every month, like,
Mm.
and everyone voting yes. So like, okay, well,
Yeah.
see you next month. Yeah, there's nothing else. Yeah, but with amount of spam. So first of all, what every network does is making the deposit amount higher, so
Mm.
there is no spam. And hmm,
So one thing I was thinking
what
about
else?
is having some kind of hierarchy in the decision-making process. So you obviously have, the top voters, but then
Hmm.
you have um, sub-DAOs in that sense that take care of certain aspects of the protocol or the ecosystem, and they vote for you, and you don't have to bother. And if the top hierarchy disagrees, they can, vote against decision of the sub DAOs in that sense. I think that would split up, decision-making process a little bit like, it from the real world, like military has hierarchies, politics has hierarchies. I think it's a very efficient real world um, distribution of votings.
And there is such decisions, so like foundation delegation proposals, like
Hmm.
usually they are allocated to like there are some amount which allocates to one team, which
Yeah,
actually reviews all the applications and then distributes it. And there might be proposals for the beginning, like for the initial process to start it, like this
yeah,
amount goes to, or it might be by then. So like there's this document and this amount of
yeah,
this goes to these validators. Yeah.
yeah, totally. Um, so talking about proposals, some proposals can be, quite complex. For example, the proposal with interchain or Atom 2.0. And since they're very complex, it's very hard to know what the consequences are for the ecosystem and, how does it play out? By what metrics do you vote? So there's a proposal, you read it, and then you guys, post it in your, I don't know, Discord channel. And how do you decide yes, no, abstain, or no with pain?
No, with pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. um So actually, there's no like metrics that we like count, not like check boxes,
Hmm.
because there are way more different proposals that you can think of. Like, what we're checking actually is if it will be good for the network or not, if it will be
Hmm.
good for our delegators or not. If it will be, then yeah, then we vote
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
If it will not be, then we vote no. If it's something like spam or some scam
Hmm.
project, then no is better. If it's actually hard to design and we would like our delegators to vote themselves or the community to express their opinion, we will vote abstain.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes with a couple of proposals, there's the question of security or economic growth for the ecosystem. Just to give you two examples. So there was a proposal to enable CosmWasm on the hub, which would obviously lead to more products launching there, thus economic growth. But also, we saw it in the case of Juno, where the chain halted a couple of times last year due to WASM exploits. It would be security risk. Another example, just very relevant right now, Juno is enabling custom built oracles. You know, oracles are notoriously difficult to build and complex. So there's a grave security risk for running, you know, in-house built oracles that are not, you know, battle tested over the last half decade. But there's economic need to do this, or because apparently they can't land something like Chainlink or something. So where do you place your vote on these matters, security or growth?
Well, it depends on the proposal actually, on every proposal, because like I can't say like we are always going for the economic growth. No, sometimes it's better to keep the network secure, keep it working. No one wants to see the the ecosystem goes to trash. No, like you should find a balance actually. It's always a question about risk and profit, like
Mm-hmm.
economic growth, as you said, and secure. And finding this balance is hard, yes. But what you can look on, you can look at, you can look at past experience, previous experience of this technology. You can look
Mm-hmm.
at the previous experience of this particular network and devs who are operating in it, and
Mm-hmm.
decide whether or not it's worth it to take a risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk more about the technical aspects of running Web3 infrastructure. How does, you know, running validators look like? What do you do?
So, well, we should choose some server providers. Then we should deploy their nodes. Uh, then we should create an alerting system for those nodes and servers. And then we should keep it working, keep it updating, uh, vote and governance proposals in two sentences like this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will not explain like how to create your Cosmos node.
No, please. I think there are enough tutorials out there. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually it's surprisingly simple. It's just download, build, and start.
Yeah,
You know, it's ridiculous.
yeah. And awesome,
Um,
I would say.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes it gets hacky, but most of the time it's really easy. So I kind of like that. Okay, where or are there any challenges running validator infrastructure? Because you said you run, you know, really a lot of Cosmos nodes. Um, is there anything you like to see improved? Where do you see issues with the software and with the current state of yeah, the backbone of the networks?
Is the question about more operating networks or the networks at all?
You can answer both. Feel free to.
I would like to answer the second question because like we are pretty good at our job. Yeah, pretty good at our work actually. Yeah, and keeping it all working. But what we'd like to see is the real world implications of some blockchains. Yeah, we see a
Mhm.
lot of blockchains that are working like crypto for crypto, which is
Mhm.
like and there's a lot, and there's not so much real world solutions, which we guess actually is will be the key
Mhm.
for ecosystems to grow, scale, and be secure.
That's true, and that's what you need, for example, oracles for. So that's even more
Yeah.
interesting with what Juno is doing right now. Yeah, you're right. By the way, initially, just skipping a little bit between topics here, you talked about interchain security. Will you, as a validator, support this? So are you
Uh,
preparing for, the Cosmos chains, or the Atom chains, having to support baby chains?
we we was already
Okay.
we were already, but actually, yeah, this this proposal wasn't voted. Yes, so I don't know, like, why should we preparing for this?
Okay, so
Maybe.
it's waiting,
Yeah,
waiting,
we're
waiting.
just waiting. Yeah, when it will be live, then we'll be ready. Yeah.
Okay, another thing that has been getting some tractions lately is skip protocol. Do you know this?
Skip protocol?
Hmm.
Not really.
Okay, let me quickly
Never.
explain to you. So skip protocol switches out the Tendermint consensus engine in a sense that it allows um, the skip protocol to inject transactions at certain places in the block
Mhm.
against bribing. So if you are an MEV extractor, you can bribe your validator that runs skip with money to give you a certain spot in the block. Like there isn't, someone does a big trade, a whale does a swap, and that creates an arbitrage opportunity.
Mhm.
And then a bot can come along, hey, I want, be right behind this transaction and do my trade. Here are
Mhm.
10 Juno. Um, what do you think about something? And the rewards, the 10 Junos, would then go to the stakers of the validator.
Mhm.
Um, that's something that has been, or Skip has been, getting a lot of traction lately. We at Whitewell, we have been working with them quite a lot. Is this
Mhm.
something you'd be interested in running yourself?
It's actually very interesting. And if it works against bribery, we all know there's a lot of bribery in any blockchain. Yeah, unfortunately, this yeah, but this is true.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, and any solution that helps against bribery, I guess it's just awesome. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how it looks like. Yeah, how it works.
Yeah, I can only recommend to take a look at it. It's really interesting. All right, coming to my last set of questions here. Besides governance, participation, and keeping the blockchains alive, many users value contributions to the ecosystem that go beyond that. So initially, you said you're doing educational material. Can you talk a little bit more about what value you bring to the chains you validate on? Because that's for many people, that's the make it uh, the deal breaker or not, whether to delegate to someone or not, based on what do they do besides, you know, running.
Yeah, I get it. So yeah, we we have YouTube channel, we have TikTok account, we have Instagram, Telegram, Twitter, Discord, and Reddit. So basically, you can find us everywhere. And we make YouTube tutorials, YouTube explanation video. We actually love TikTok format because there's like one idea, 1 minute, and you explain everything. Like
Mm,
we started to do crypto in 1 minute,
mm,
TikToks, very short YouTube shorts, and we post them in Twitter, where we just describe the network. What is the project in 1 minute?
mm,
Yes. So what else do we do? We actually created two Telegram bots. One of them is a wallet bot, which actually works like Explorer. You can just
mm,
explore like in Minscan, but in your Telegram.
mm,
And another bot is status validator bot. We actually created it for because of one tweet of our delegator. Yeah, he asked like, "Is there any tool like this?" And we are just no, there's no. Why? And we created
mm.
it. Yeah, and right now you can just paste your address. Our bot will understand what validator it is and will notify you if validator is inactive or in jail. Yeah, and we plan to add opportunity to check if your validator is close to inactivation or jailing. Yeah, and some other tools as well.
So you're mostly providing educational material and tools to better monitor and manage your, you know, your
Delegations.
delegations, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
you know, there's a lot of things happening in the ecosystem right now with mesh security, interchain security. Terra is building their own security model too. It's called Interchain Alliance, so free. There's a lot of income coming from different chains like DYDX. There is a bridge being built between, or IBC bridge, between Avalanche and Cosmos. So there's a lot of things happening on a lot of fronts. Where do you see Stakewolle within the next, let's say, a year? What are your plans to navigate this fast-moving, ecosystem, and where do you want to put your focus on?
We want to expand not in on only Cosmos ecosystem, but in other ecosystem as well. So I said you about Solana, and we want to go to other ecosystems.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, our minor plan is to update our website and create a referral program, create some gamifications like game where you delegate to one chain, two chain, like 10 chains, and then you have like special achievement, maybe some NFTs, maybe some delegations from us as well, or discount on the commission. Yeah, so we want to make it delegating more fun, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
It is the way we want to develop this year.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. I think that those are good closing words. Um, before we close it off completely, is there anything left you would like to say to our viewers?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, also
And
subscribe to mine while you're at it.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
okay, so obviously check out all your material. So I will post it down in the description down below, and I'll put the website, your YouTube link, and TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, whatever you like.
We have one link, so yeah, you can just use it.
All right, Ivan. Then thank you very much for this interview. I had a great time talking to you. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.